Well, first of all, thanks you guys. I really appreciate you taking the time this Friday to go and join us for another 15-minute feature Friday. And today we're actually going to be talking about rules, events, buttons, basically all the cool extra stuff that we can do within our software that will often make a demo way too complicated, but it can sometimes be pretty cool to show. First of all, if you're not familiar with how rules are made, well, I'm actually not going to cover that during this demo. Instead, I'm going to assume that you've already either seen our previous 15-minute feature Fridays on rules, or that you already know how to create rules. All right, so for some of the rules that I'm going to be showing, well, when would it actually? Let's first off address when it would actually be appropriate to demo these things. I found that rules are an often overlooked or completely omitted feature in many demos, which does make sense. I mean, time and attention are often two valuable resources when presenting Milestone to a customer or a partner. And you want to do your best to wow them without having everything going over their head or just kind of overloading them. Uh, what I want to focus on in today's FMFF is how to show the cool factor of rules without having to really dive into the management client and kind of make it just a basic tutorial. However, I will probably still show how some of those rules are done and some of the stuff the management client how you go through on the configuration side, and also kind of show a couple of cool things on the management client side that you can show to that one nerdy dude that you have in the meeting who really wants to keep asking questions. All right. Well, let's go ahead and just pop open the smart client and dive right into it. So the first thing I'm going to show is probably what you guys are already familiar with. This is the most common rule or event that I see in any system, and that's being able to trigger the panic event. And most of the time, what I'll see is that especially for some guys who don't really use this all the time, and we do have this set up on the SciAb, is they'll come down here, they'll kind of go through events, and I'm guilty of this as well. And it's something that kind of takes some time. It seems a little obscure for the customer to be able to follow. And then you go over to here, activate panic event, have this trigger a number of different things. It can trigger an alarm, stuff like that. But one thing I do want to show is, and remind people that most people realize that we have but don't really utilize it, is on-screen buttons. And on-screen buttons can be used for a number of different things. The easiest thing to do for a demo is just to tie this to user-defined event. So this panic is just tying it to that panic button event. And over here, I can have this panic button over here. I can even emphasize it and actually put it over here at the reception desk, just to emphasize that this is something that's being actually pushed as a duress button located over here. And again, I could do that same thing, and it kind of helps keep the narrative in the actual camera view without having to go through different menus to try to simulate this actual event. And again, with that panic button, if you're not familiar with different rules that you can do with that, of course, the obvious thing is that when actually technically this isn't a rule, but you can tie it to an alarm and actually have that pop up. Here I have an alarm list just popping up in the actual smart client view here. Of course, you can also go to the alarm manager and show them that functionality as well, clicking on it and going through, time that to a map and things like that. The other thing that this can do is tie this to a bookmark. So I have that set up as rule. So if I go over here, you'll see that whenever I actually trigger this panic event, it automatically goes ahead and brings up a rule, pulls up a bookmark. And then from here, you can kind of give a demo on bookmarks as well in general. The other thing that you can tie this into, and you can go ahead and set this up in a specific view, like here I have something called a control view. You can also put that event over there. And you can actually have this, of course, set this up to Smart Wall. And this is something that I believe I've actually demoed before on a previous FMFF. But over here, I'm going to go ahead and create two floating windows. And if you're not familiar with how to set up a Smart Wall, we do also have another FMFF that covers that, as well as, of course, e-learning modules. So over here, I'll go ahead and simulate a panic event. And if you have this set up, works better if you have individual monitors. But again, you can have not only the video tie into an individual smart wall monitor, but you can also have text that comes up. And you can customize this to your actual customer in case if you know beforehand that they actually have a use case that's relevant to that. All right, so let's move on to a couple of other examples. Over here on the top left, I do have a an access monitor module basically plugged into one of these views. And with this, of course, you can go through the normal way to demo Access Monitor, clicking on the different card holders, bring up the video associated with that. Another cool feature that you can do is tie this into on-screen buttons. Now, there's a couple of buttons that you can go ahead and put in. I believe it depends on the access control system and what we have integrated with them. One that I've seen consistently is the ability to actually hit unlock and unlock. So if I hit unlock, you'll actually see over here on the top right. Actually, let me full screen that so you can see a little better. Over here on the top right, that door status is now set to unlocked. If I hit lock, you'll actually change that status right there. Now, this is admittedly a little redundant because down here in the bottom right, you do have the lock and unlock buttons that do the same task over here. But this can be a nice visual aid. Like I like to put this over here by the actual access module over here. And being able to hit lock and unlock right here can kind of just help visually explain how the software is actually controlling these doors to the customer. Additionally, something that I really like to do is hitting this access request. And this is, again, just a really nice and easy way to have an access request notification pop up over here in the bottom right. And this is actually a great tool to use for kind of demoing how you can go and set up different integrations, because obviously this is an access request notification. That's kind of how we design that actual feature. But you can have this pop up on anything. You can have this pop up on a panic event, and you can set up a rule to pull up this camera, and have two-way audio set up, have a number of. And down here we have unlock and lock as actual customized buttons for this, but you can further customize that, and you can put basically anything down here. You can go ahead and initiate a total lockdown of that specific area, control multiple doors, anything that you want that operator to actually respond to. On the topic of on-screen buttons, another thing you can do is actually take control of PTCs. So over here, we have a number of different buttons over here. And first of all, you can actually go ahead and activate PTZ presets. So if I click last door, that'll actually go over here to that preset. If I go over here and click on side window, it will activate that preset. If I hit default, that's actually just my home PTZ preset to go back to there. Another cool thing that you could do is that you could tie this in also with rules, of course. And there's a number of different ways. Of course, you could tie this into analytics to go ahead and trigger. You could trigger it on motion, door contact. Over here, I actually have a motion sensor. This is from one of our partners that's actually local over here in SoCal called GJD. And they have these little motion sensors. It's not like a MIP integration. It's actually just using generic events. And again, we do have another FMFF that goes over that, but you see, once I actually trigger that motion sensor, then you have that PTZ camera kind of snap to an individual area. All right, now let's go ahead and go over how to actually set up some of these actual on-screen buttons in these different events. So what I'm going to do is I already have a pre-created view over here, same basic view without all those different buttons. So if I go into setup, now there's a couple different ways that this is done, and it can be pretty confusing. We don't like to make it easy. So for instance, over here on the actual lobby, let's go ahead and create that panic event. Now, over here, you'll actually have to go ahead and expand device. This is your actual server name. You'll expand the event, this folder, and you'll find that specific event. This is tying in just to the user-defined events that I have set up for the system. So I'll go over here, hit that panic, and again, you can go and just overlay this wherever you want. Ever since we actually updated the panic buttons, I find this is a little easier. The nice thing is if you want to put in multiple actual events over here, the buttons actually snap to each other now, whether it's for position or size. So it's even if you have a customer, you don't have the buttons actually set up, and they really want to know how to set that up, the process to actually set that up can make for an interesting demonstration as well. Now for access request, that one's a little bit different. Basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to go ahead and rather than expanding device, you expand access control. You'll go to that specific door, and then you'll go ahead and put those different commands. So this is kind of how I set up those lock and unlock buttons. Go and do that, kind of space it out a little bit. Now, for the access request notification that I set up earlier, this one is actually multiple steps. So this is one of those parts that I'm going to quickly pop back into my management client to show off how this works. So there's a couple different things that you need to set up. And again, I'm not going to go over every single step on how to do this. First thing you're going to want to do is set up a user-defined event. So I've created one called access request. And this is what you're going to you associate the button to be able to trigger the rule and the access request notification. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is go over here to access control and set up an actual access request notification. Now, there is by default a built-in access request notification. If you're using user-defined events, you're not going to pass through the metadata to actually trigger the camera to pull up properly. So if you set up this notification, it's just going to pop up with the actual blank screen. So what you'll want to do is hit add access request notification. Once you have that set up, you can tie this to a specific camera. Again, you don't want to hit just related camera because for this demo purpose, it's not going to actually tie to a camera. But if you were using a specific event like an analytic on a camera, then that would probably actually tie in quite nicely for that access request notification. So here I just have, let's go ahead and select entrance 1, hit that, hit OK. And if you have a speaker or microphone that you want to tie in for two-way audio, because access request notifications do also tie into two-way audio, you can select those relevant devices here. And again, over here is where you actually tie into the commands. Now, I just tied this into lock door and unlock door, but there's a number of different commands that you can actually tie that into. If you want to tie that into a specific event, you can kind of go through over here. You can actually hit, PTZ preset, things like that as well. So you can kind of get creative with what you want to do with this flyout in the smart client. Actually, let's not save that. And then the last thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to actually want to set up the rule. So over here, I have a rule set up, and you see access control request, access request notification, and here's kind of this basic structure of the rule over here. If I edit it down here, we go back. You want to perform an action on event, which is just going to be that user-defined event. And then over here, you want to go ahead and show access request notification, which is right here. And then again, you don't want to show that built-in access request notification. You want to show demo access request notification. And that's basically how you go about actually configuring that. Now, we're actually running a little low on time. So last thing I want to show is just how to set up PTZ presets. This is one of those confusing ones. If you go over here, you might expect to see it under here under PTZ, but this is kind of just more device-specific things that you would go ahead and set up for the actual PTZ. It's kind of cool for all the different stuff that we have, but again, I've never really seen a use case that would utilize those, but hey, you never know. Now, what you actually want to do is go over here, go under Device, AMR SIAP, which just, again, corresponds to your actual server. And then here's where you'll actually see the presets listed for each camera. So again, if you can go ahead and just actually put the different on-screen buttons, and you can kind of correlate them to where it's going to send the PTZ for the presets if you want. And that about sums it up. I mean, again, those are just a few different ways that you can go ahead and actually demo this through the smart client without having to dive into the management client. Now, if you do want to dive into the management client and do demos, things I like to actually showcase are how to create the rule. Now, again, that can kind of interrupt the flow of a typical demo. But sometimes you have a lot of IT-centered guys that really, enjoy seeing this stuff. I mean, going through this and actually set up a rule, it can seem boring to some people, but, I just had a pilot the other day, and I think actually on a pilot, that's the best time to show this, because then they start thinking about how this is going to apply to their system. And, the most common scenario that or way that I see this explained is, hey, if you've ever set up a rule in Outlook, it works the same way, and you've got basically the same general flexibility when it comes to that. All right, looks like we don't have any questions. All right, thanks you guys. Again, appreciate your time.